Welcome back, V.O.C. YouTube channel, NFL edition here, going into week 6. Always forget the week. Going into week 6, see the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about Mike Tomlin and his future with the Steelers as this season continues to roll on. I'm going to be talking about the Davante Adams situation a little bit and where I think we are right now with, athletes and the way that we look at them and the way that they treat people. So I'd like to dive into that a little bit. And then I'll talk about the Matt Rule firing with the Carolina Panthers, first firing of the year in the NFL. And then I'll talk about my picks, get into that. So let's jump into it. Going to start with Mike Tomlin here and what I think his future kind of with the Steelers are. The Steelers right now are 1-4. They've moved on from Trash Biscuit quarterback to now the rookie Kenny Pickett. T.J. Watt's been out all year. That's not helped their defense at all. But there's just a different feeling around the Steelers. It's kind of felt like that's the last couple years where it's kind of been like Big Ben is done playing now, and he was going downhill, and he's kind of, his career was pretty much done, but he's still out there playing. The Steelers don't fire coaches. That's not what they do. They've had 3 coaches since the 70s. Chuck Noll, blanking on the name, I just have it. Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin. So that's what they've had. You can't say that about any other team, any other school. It's never going to happen again, right? Where you have 3 coaches for 50 years. But it's just getting to that point. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record. He's 155-89-2. He won the Super Bowl, of course, in the 2008 season, where they beat the Cardinals. Made it to another Super Bowl, where they lost to the Packers. His postseason record, this was actually crazy to me to think about. He's 8-9 in the postseason. So his early career was really good postseason. Later career has not been as great. But like I said, it just feels a little different. Now, will it happen? I don't know. It would have to be something where I think he would have to say, it feels different here. I don't really feel like being the coach anymore here. I'd like to maybe go somewhere else, do something different. It's felt like it doesn't feel like the same as him as the head coach as it has in years past. I feel like the discipline hasn't been there the past couple of years the way that it usually was with him. Cam Hayward retweeted a tweet about Mike Tomlin, kind of bashing Mike Tomlin a little bit. So I don't know if the guys are not connecting to him as much anymore. But when you go out there, you play the Bills, you lose 38-3. Not a good look. It just doesn't look good. Their offensive line has problems. Wide receiver, they have talent, but it doesn't feel, they don't perform. Najee Harris has been up and down this year. He's been injured. The defense, like I said, it's not been as good. T.J. Watt's not there, but something different. I just wanted to kind of bring it up because I don't know if it's going to happen. It would have to. I don't think the Steelers would fire him. It would have to be Mike Tomlin saying, hey, I'd like to go somewhere else. But it just has that makings of, could this be the last time or the last season as him as the head coach of the Steelers? Because it's just not. I think it's got to that point where it's kind of just need to move on and start something different or go in a different direction. Theo Epstein always talked about 10 years. I like to say at a job about 10 years. And, then it changes, it gets a little different. I like to move on and pick something else up. So I think it's gotten to that point where it's like, been there, I think, 15 years now, I think he's been there. So it's one of those things where it's like, want to change things up a little bit maybe. All right, moving on to Davante Adams. Davante Adams is now facing misdemeanor assault charges after shoving a cameraman after Monday's loss against the Chiefs. Look, they're frustrated. They're 1-4. Davante Adams is running off the field. If you haven't seen the video, Davante Adams is running off the field. Camera guy runs in front of him. The one angle was weird. It didn't get good till we saw the angle of the action on the field, but one angle, it looks like the guy was getting in front of him to try and take a picture of him is what the high angle looked like, and he shoves him. And then you look at the on the field angle, the guy runs in front of him as he's running as well, and then he shoves him. he shoved the shit out of him. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Look, frustrations run high. Do I think there is tensions between athletes and people on the field, especially after a moment like that? Yes. I think there's way too many people on the field because stuff like that can happen, because that guy could have just been running across the tunnel, go somewhere, but it's like you have a player coming out. There's too much going on. And not surprised he had charges pressed against him. Probably ended up not being much. A lot of people would sue in that instance because, look, you just got pushed by an NFL player. They're rich. You think, let's just sue. But I think the bigger discussion is the media and just the people on the sidelines in general, and just how some of these athletes view themselves and array themselves. And I'm one of those people that's like pro athlete, like let the athlete have as much power and do these things. But in that instance, like Devontae Adams knows he was wrong. At the end of the day, you have frustrations, it happens, but you can't go shoving people at the end of the day. But it'll be interesting to see moving forward if the league does anything about it, if the Raiders do anything about it, what happens with these charges moving forward. But when you have frustrations and tempers run this high, I get you're frustrated. I get this happened. He probably didn't know what was happening in the moment, but you still can't shove a guy. Like, at the end of the day, you still can't shove a guy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward with Devontae Adams. Frankly, sadly, I don't think the NFL will do much about this. They didn't do much about Aaron Donald swinging the helmet early in this year. They're not going to do much about it. But it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens. The Raiders would have to do something about it. The NFL's not going to touch it. All right, Matt Rule, first NFL coach fired this year by the Panthers. He was 11-27. Let's quit talking about Urban as much. Like, Matt Rule was not better than Urban. Coaching in the NFL is hard. I think we look at it and go, oh, great college coach. He's a football coach. He can coach. Different beast, man. It's a different beast. This is why coaches like Lincoln Riley never left for the Cowboys. Brian Kelly never left. Chip Kelly didn't work out. It's different. I think this really shows that Pete Carroll's a Hall of Fame coach, because Pete had a bad stint the first time in the NFL. Goes to college, great success at USC, goes back to the NFL, and he's had success. Now, he's had success because he found a quarterback. You can find a quarterback in the league, you'll stay in the league forever. As Nick Saban, how it goes. Nick Saban failed in the NFL because he didn't have a quarterback. You got to have a quarterback. Matt Rule never had a quarterback. But I don't think he would have been a good coach even if he had a quarterback. Just some of the things his team did was just sloppy. It just wasn't. It felt like to me he never really translated to the NFL player. Great with college kids, not with the NFL men. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Look, he was a good college coach. He'll get a good college job. NFL's done for him. But I think this is a bigger question of, and this needs to be a thing, these NFL owners need to quit looking at colleges for coaches. Just stop. Because Cliff Kingsbury is on the track of, right now, he continues on the way he is, he's going to be fired too. So there's another college coach that didn't work. And he didn't work in college. So I think NFL needs to quit looking at college coaches, because it clearly has not worked the last few times. And there's been some pretty good college coaches. Like Urban, great college coach. Matt Rule, good college coach. You need to quit hiring from outside college. And these college coaches need to quit taking these jobs. Yes, it's only 32 jobs instead of 150 or whatever it is. But just understand that it's not the same. It's a different beast. If Nick Saban can do it, and he's viewed as the greatest college coach of all time, ain't nobody else going to be able to do it, frankly. Like, that's where it pretty much gets to. So we need to see where the Panthers go, and if they do their fire sale like some people think. Some people think now they're going to sell everybody, which they should sell some, not everybody. That'll be probably discussed at a later date. All right, picks this week. I was 4-3 last week. Winning record. We'll keep with that. 21-17 on the season. Look, that's a winning record on the season. We're going to take everything we can. I think I have 8 games. So Patriots 2-3 at Browns 2-3. Browns are 2.5-point favorite. I picked the Patriots to lose last week against the Lions. Lions shit the bed. Lions suck. Lions fans, you're farther out than you thought. I tried telling you. I like the Browns in this one. Browns should have beat the Chargers last week. They have a very good football team. If they had a better kicker and a consistent kicker, they would have won that game. Jets 3-2 at Packers 3-2, -7.5 for the Packers. Packers fucked me last week. No surprise. I hate them. Hate their guts. Hate their quarterback, who should be a prison cellmate somewhere. Scumbag Aaron Rodgers. That being his name. They go in and they take down the MILF Hunters this week. They lose to the Giants, which are the Giants good or the Giants just fugazi? The Jets get lucky because Tua didn't play for the Dolphins, so they get a win, and they were at home. But this week, I think the Packers... Now, it's talk Aaron Rodgers isn't going to practice tomorrow, but I don't think that's a problem. I think the Packers win. Aaron Rodgers plays. Aaron, you need to practice as much, even if you're injured. You need to get that core with those wide receivers, man. All right, Jaguars, who lost to the Texans last week, 2-3 at Colts, 2-1, -1.5. I think this game is ugly. It's sloppy. I think that I don't know where to go in this game. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I feel like this is a game the Jaguars win. Colts, they have a lot of issues. They beat the Broncos because they're the Broncos in an ugly, ugly game. So, but I think the Jaguars win this one. I don't know what it is. I just gut feeling I think the Jaguars win. Bengals 2-3, -1.5 point favorite at the Saints, who are 2-3. Taysom Hill's doing everything but playing starting quarterback, but he's doing everything, throwing touchdown passes, being what they need. But I like the Bengals to get over their loss last week, figure out their offense, figure out their team, and I like them to beat the Saints. Ravens 2-3, -6 point favorite at the Giants, 4-1. Who would have thought the Giants 4-1? I didn't. I thought the Giants were only going to win like 4 games all year. Giants moving into that territory though, where are you good in the middle? You want to be really bad or you want to be really good? Like, especially with the contracts they have for Saquon and Daniel Jones. They're in a weird spot right now. I think the Ravens win this game. I think that they're better than the Giants. And I think the Giants are going to slowly start to come back to reality a little bit. Bills, this is the game of the week. Bills 4-1, -2.5 point favorite at the Chiefs, 4-1. This is one of those games where I think the Bills are a better team. I think that they are favored in this game. I know that. But it just feels like the Chiefs win this game. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the Chiefs win this game. They're at home. If this was at Buffalo, I'd probably go with the Bills. But Chiefs being at home, there's just something about there's something about them, man. I really like the Bills, but I just think the Chiefs win this game. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Bills win, but I just think the Chiefs win this one. Cowboys 4-1 at Eagles 5-0. Eagles are a 6-point favorite. Dak's throwing with his left hand now. Gross. Dak, sit down. You're not fully healthy yet. If you play against the Eagles, they're going to tear you up. You just need to sit out. Let Cooper Rush show who he really is this week. And I think the Eagles win this one. I really like the Eagles. I like them coming into the season. I didn't think they'd be maybe the best team in the NFC good, but they're so good it's crazy. All right, Broncos -2. Broncos 2-3 at Chargers 3-2, -5 point favorite for the Chargers. Chargers are maybe the most disappointing team in the NFL. I don't know what it is. That organization is like, great talent, great talent. We're going to mess this up. That's how it's been the last 20 years with the Chargers. This is a weird game. I like the Chargers here, but I think it's close. I think this is one of those games where the Broncos can maybe figure a little something out and maybe not be as bad. But Nathaniel Hackett ain't the guy. He just ain't the guy. So those are my picks. Talked about Mike Tomlin's future with the Steelers. Is he there? Is he not there? Devontae Adams. It'll be interesting to see how that moves forward and what happens with that. And then the first firing of the year in college, Matt Rule. Should have took the Oklahoma job last year. So yeah, that's going to do it. But he's $40 million richer, so no big deal there. Wouldn't be mind firing if you gave me $40 million. So yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching.